Hello, I'm Nikki, and in 2 weeks' time I'm going to do a walk with my brother Rupert. It's a new walk in New South Wales. It's in the Byron Bay hinterland, and it's called, I've got to look because it's a hard name, Gidjuum Gulganyi, which actually translated means Old People's Trail, which is kind of appropriate. But anyway, when I mentioned this walk to my brother, he was really keen to do it. The only problem is he has absolutely no hiking gear. He also will not have trained for this walk. However, I haven't really trained very much either. So I thought to myself, do I have enough gear that I've accumulated over X amount of years to kit out 2 people on a hike? It's a 4-day hike. So I thought what I'd do is I would organise Rupert's gear, and then I'll show it to you, and then I will weigh what his base weight for his gear is. Then I'll get my gear that I'll be taking and I'll do the same. I'll weigh it to see what my base weight is. And it's going to be interesting to see if mine is lighter, and I hope it is, because I've been trying to get my pack lighter. That's the whole point of spending money on ultralight gear, because the older I get, the more difficult walking with a heavy pack is. So anyway, and I figure that my brother is slightly younger than me, and he is male. So even if his base weight is higher than mine, he'll be okay. Okay, all right, I'll get Rupert's gear out first. Okay, this is Rupert's gear. Now I need to add that at this point, I'm not including toiletries, clothing, or electronics. So, Rup has got the anti-gravity Osprey backpack, the duplex tent that I took when I went to New Zealand and walked Te Araroa. He's got a Cedar Summit quilt. I will take these out so that you can see them. The Alton large sleeping mat, the Alton fitted sheet, and the Cedar Summit regular pillow. I've also included his titanium pot, some cutlery, and a plate. The quilt is a Cedar Summit cinder quilt, and it's only rated to 10 degrees, but he's going to take thermals with him, and he will have my polar fleece jacket that he can also wear at night if he gets cold. The Alton mat I've shown in previous videos, so I'm not going to take those out, but I will pitch the duplex tent so that you can just see it in all its glory. Okay, now for my stuff. Okay, this is the Z-Pack 62 litre Arc pack that I took to New Zealand. It's still in good condition. I can use it. I have actually ordered another pack from Atom Packs in the UK, which will be coming in a month or 2. My tent is the Nemo Hornet Elite Osmo 2-person tent. I have the Flextail sleeping mat, the Flextail pillow, and I have the Cedar Summit sleeping bag. I like sleeping in this because I don't like being wrapped up in a sleeping bag. This is the Z-Pack's Mummy, but I use it as a quilt, and I get in that, and it's nice and stretchy and lots of room. And I have got a larger Toke's pot, and there's my cutlery and my titanium plate. Okay, well, the results aren't really earth-shattering, and I guess to a certain extent Rupert still has the benefit of things like the Z-Pack tent, because that's lightweight. But anyway, there is a slight difference, but not much. Okay, so Rupert's gear totaled 4,790 grams, and my gear was 3,940, so there's a difference of 850 grams. So my pack at this point is 850 grams lighter than Rupert's. But we do need to add toiletries, electronics, and clothing. So I guess there'll be a stage 2 to this experiment. Okay, all right, okay. Well, bye for now, and I will talk to you a little bit later. Bye. I now want to go through all of the other essential items that will have to go into my pack, which will add to my base weight. So this is my raincoat. I will put the weights up of each item. This is my clothing bag. I will show you the contents. This is my toiletries bag. Again, I'll show you the contents. And this is my electronics bag, which is heavy. And I'll also show you the contents. And this is my first aid. This is my little bag that I hold my lighter, my little knife, some additional guy ropes, and my cooking stove in. And then last but not least, I've got my knock, which I can use to help filter water. It's also an additional 1.5 litres to carry additional water if I need to. And this is my Sawyer squeeze as my water filtering system. My Mountain Designs raincoat. Because the walk I'm going on is only 4 days, I'm actually going to be wearing the same clothes every day, just changing my underwear. So the clothing on the table is what I will change into each night. I have got some thermal leggings. I have a nice big baggy black t-shirt that I like to wear because it's nice and soft. And if it's cold, I'll put on this ultralight fleece, which is brilliant. And then if it's really cold, I've also got this, it's actually a Uniqlo one. It was cheap as chips and it's actually very warm. I have my camp socks and then I have one additional pair of socks. I haven't shown you my underwear. I don't think I need to do that. That's in there. These are my electronics. Okay, I have the 20,000 Nightcore power bank. These are all of the leads that I need. My head torch, my FlexTail pump, so I don't have to blow up my mattress. That really is a luxury. And I have a PLB. It's probably not necessary for this walk, but I think that once you've got it, you should always carry it because you just never know when you might need it. Okay, first aid. I have bandage for wounds and tape for wounds, Vaseline for your feet if you need it, Lemsip, ibuprofen and Nurofen, and Panadol. And then I've got the blister plasters if you develop blisters. That's if your lips get sore, bit of iodine, and then a plastic mirror, because if ever you're in a situation where you need to get attention, you need to be rescued, that's quite an effective way of being seen. The weight for this is, these are my camp shoes. Can't go without them. Toiletries, very basic. Airlight towel, some wilderness wash. I keep my emergency blanket in my toiletries bag. Toothbrush, toothpaste, dental floss. Moisturizer for the feet. And I also have sunscreen, which I hold in a different part of my pack. Hairbrush, nail clippers, and that is actually a washing line. I'm at my brother Rupert's property, and I'm here because I'm going to give him a lesson on how to put up the tent that he is going to be using on our walk. The Duplex Z-Packs 2-person tent. This is going to be fun. This is my brother Rupert, and he's got no idea how to put up a tent.
I don't know if that's true.
So take it out of the bag.
Obviously.
Yeah, you peg out the 4 corners of the ground sheet. Use the shorter pegs. Yes. In fact, the tent site, exactly, the tent sites are on a platform, but this is just so that you get the idea of how you do it, because instead of pegs, you're going to be using chains to mark it out. But anyway, okay, take the tent out of the blue bag and then lay it down on top of the ground sheet. Again, peg out the 4 corners.
With different pegs.
Yes. You can use the longer ones for this. Yep. I'm going to use the poles to put it up. So in the middle, on each side, lift up the tent. So you put the handle, the top handle part into there. Okay. And then pull the guy line out. This
peg
one.
it.
And peg it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Oh no, that's good.
Yep.
Okay.
Peg each side and then we'll tighten it all up. And also, see the guy line in the middle there? You can pull that out because that actually gives you extra space, so less likely to hit your feet.
Yeah, I won't need to do
You don't you won't need to do that. Okay. All right. So this is the duplex Z-Pack tent. Have you seen how big it is inside as well?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's your tent, Rube.
Yeah, sweet. Perfect.
Yeah. It is perfect.
Yeah, it's nice and easy.
Yes. Practice packing it all away. Did well, Rube. It's going to be your home for 3 nights. I'm going to now put up my Nemo Hornet Elite Osmo 2-person tent. Okay, there's my tent all up, and I will actually use the ground sheet when Rupert's not using it, because I actually like putting it that way so that when you go in and out of the tent you can keep everything dry and clean. So we're all set, Rupe.
Awesome.
You excited?
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
I can't wait.
Right, now I've got the food all in front of me here, which I will be taking for myself, and then I've done almost exactly the same for Rupert. So fingers crossed it'll be okay. Anyway, before I go into the food, I just wanted to recap a bit on the weight of my pack. Now, prior to the toiletries, electronics and clothing, my pack was 3,940 grams. I've now combined the weight of my toiletries, clothing and electronics, which were 2,970 grams. So in total, my base weight is 6,910 grams, so just under 7 kilos. So with the additional food and water, that's going to add, it's got to be at least 3 kilos. So it's going to be a minimum of 10, but I'm sure it's going to be more than that. Okay, I will now show you the food. So this is the food. Now Rupe is a bit like me, he likes to have his drinks. So he's got some powdered milk here, even though he actually prefers to have this, but it's heavy. So I'm trying to get him onto this, but he'll take those two anyway. Different kinds of coffee. He's got the bags, the Nescafe instant, and then we've got a bit of instant here as well. Sugar, tea bags, drinking chocolate. Now, he's not really a breakfast person, so he will just have something like this, a bar or an oaty slice. Now for lunch, we're having noodles. 4 different types of noodles, and I've just thrown in a Vegemite and a peanut butter just to add a bit of flavour. And then for the evening meal, it's got the Strive vegetable curry laksa, the Backcountry spaghetti bolognese, and the Strive chicken broccoli pesto pasta. And then of course, he's just like me, he likes his salt, so that's salt. Now, it might not seem like a lot of food, and it isn't really, but as long as you've got lots to drink, and with all of that we will have. We've also got a soup for each day when we come into camp. And then these are his snacks. Like me, he doesn't really snack, he just eats at mealtime. And he's got more of a savoury tooth. So here are some nuts and some seeds. Now, the only difference with mine really is I do like to have a bit of breakfast. So I've got some muesli here, And I've got the breakfast bar and then another oat bar, which is just slightly bigger. For breakfast, I've got all my drinks, so all my teas and my coffees and my drinking chocolates. And I've also got licorice tea, which I like. I've also got the noodles for each day, that's lunchtime. And these are my evening meals. I've got the chicken broccoli pesto from Strive, the chicken tikka masala from Backcountry, and I've got dead potato and tuna for one night. Probably the first night, because I'll actually put that tuna into a Ziploc bag. Again, soup for each time we come into camp, some few snacks during the day and some more peanuts. And actually the water is only 750 mils, 2 of them. I think that'll be enough, but we both have additional bottles I have the knock and he will have the Strive bottles that we can get extra water if need be. This food bag is Dyneema, and it's from Orb Ultralight. So that's what my food will go into, and I will give Rupert one of my older dry sacks. So that's it. It's only 4 days. The 1st and the 4th are short. So we'll be fine. That'll be enough. I will now also weigh this food so that you know how much it is, and then also I know more what my pack is going to feel like. Okay, well, my food, 2,150 grams. So with my water, which will be 1.5 kilos, although there'll be times when maybe first thing in the morning we'll have at least another 0.5 kilo. So let's say 2 kilos, 2.1. So it's an extra 4 kilos onto the 7. So my base weight with my food and water is now looking around 11 kilos, which is great, in fact. I find that a bit hard to believe because I think I must have missed something. What I'll do is when my pack is fully packed and the day that we set off, I will weigh both of our packs and see how much it actually has ended up being. Because there's always a few additional things like caps and hats and and also the extra weight of my sunscreen and bug spray and things like that. So, okay, so we set off in about 10 days' time. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun with my brother. We always have a laugh, and and this is a new walk, so I'm looking forward to being, one of the first few to actually go and see what it's all about. So, see you in 10 days' time. Okay, bye for now.